The metal dog tags clinked against the rock, catching the afternoon sunlight. Captain Sarah Chen knelt down in the dust of the mountain pass, her hands shaking as she picked them up. The name was worn but still readable: Major Rebecca Walsh. The military base had declared Rebecca missing in action 3 months ago. Now, holding these tags, Sarah felt something shift inside her. Rebecca had been her best friend, her mentor, and the strongest person she had ever known. Seeing the tags lying abandoned here meant only one thing: Rebecca had been in this valley, and something had gone wrong. Before we begin, tell us in the comments where in the world you're watching from. Sarah looked up at the rocky mountains surrounding her. The wind howled through the narrow pass, carrying the sound of her own heartbeat. Her team of 6 soldiers stood behind her, weapons ready, eyes alert. "These are fresh," she said quietly, turning the tags over in her palm. "Maybe 2 weeks old based on the weathering." Sergeant Marcus stepped forward, his jaw tight. "That means she survived the crash, Captain." "She survived." Sarah stood up, the tags now clenched in her fist. "Then we find her. Whatever it takes." The search began at 3:47 a.m., when the stars still owned the sky. Sarah and her team moved through the darkness, guided only by headlamps and determination. The terrain was brutal: sharp rocks, steep slopes, and ravines that could swallow a person whole. Sarah pushed forward, ignoring the pain in her legs. She remembered the last conversation with Rebecca before the helicopter went down. Rebecca had joked about finally getting a vacation. Sarah had laughed, not knowing it would be their last moment together. Hours passed like minutes. The sun rose slowly, turning the mountains gold and red. Around 7:22 a.m., they found the helicopter wreckage. It lay twisted in a ravine, half buried under rocks and debris. Sarah's heart dropped. The destruction was complete. No one should have survived this. Yet Rebecca's dog tags had been found meters away, deliberately placed on a high rock visible to any search team. Someone had put them there on purpose. Someone was sending a message. "Captain, look," whispered Private Chen, pointing toward the rock face above the wreckage. There, carved into the stone, was a simple arrow pointing deeper into the mountains. Sarah's mind raced. Rebecca was alive. She had to be. But she was also in danger, and she was leaving a trail. Sarah made a decision that would change everything. "We follow the arrow. Stay sharp. Whatever we find, we stay focused and we bring her home." Her team nodded, understanding the weight of her words. The canyon narrowed as they climbed higher. The air grew thin and cold. Sarah's legs burned and her lungs felt like fire, but she didn't stop. Around noon they heard voices, unfamiliar accents, harsh tones. Sarah raised her fist and the team froze. Through their binoculars they could see a small camp nestled between 2 cliffs. Armed soldiers moved around campfires. Weapons were stacked carefully. This wasn't a rescue mission anymore. This was a confrontation with enemy forces who had captured Rebecca. "There," Sergeant Marcus whispered, pointing to a tent guarded by 2 soldiers. Sarah's breath caught. Inside that tent had to be Rebecca. But walking into this camp meant risking all their lives. Sarah closed her eyes and thought about her friend. She thought about Rebecca teaching her how to survive in the desert. She thought about Rebecca's laugh. She thought about loyalty and friendship, and the promise they had made to never leave anyone behind. "We go in at 1300 hours, Sarah said firmly. "Marcus, you take 2 soldiers around the east cliff. I'll take the other 2 and create a distraction. We move fast, we move smart, and we move together." The plan was simple but dangerous. As their watches ticked toward 1 p.m., Sarah and her team moved into position. She felt the weight of her rifle, the beat of her heart, the presence of her teammates beside her. At exactly 1 o'clock, they made their move. Sarah fired a signal flare high into the sky. It exploded in red light above the camp and chaos erupted. Enemy soldiers scattered, shouting and confused. Gunfire erupted, but Sarah's team was ready. They moved with perfect precision, each soldier knowing exactly what to do. Sarah sprinted toward the tent. Her rifle was up, her mind sharp and clear despite the danger all around her. The guards tried to block her, but Marcus's team came from the other side, drawing their fire. Sarah burst through the tent flap and froze. There, chained to a metal post, was Rebecca. Her face was bruised, her uniform torn, but her eyes were alive with fierce hope. "Sarah," Rebecca whispered, her voice hoarse. Sarah rushed to her, keys already in her hands. The chains fell away. For one moment, everything stopped. 2 friends reunited against impossible odds. "Can you move?" Sarah asked, helping Rebecca up. Rebecca nodded, gritting her teeth against the pain. Outside, the sound of gunfire continued, but it was growing distant. Marcus's voice crackled through their radios. "We have the exit clear. Move now." Sarah put Rebecca's arm around her shoulder and ran. They burst from the tent into brilliant sunlight. Their team provided covering fire as they sprinted toward the canyon exit. Behind them, enemy soldiers tried to follow, but they were too slow, too disorganized, too late. They ran for their lives, Rebecca limping but determined, Sarah refusing to let go. The mountains echoed with the sound of their escape. Finally, when they reached the safe zone where the extraction helicopter waited, Sarah looked at her friend and smiled. Rebecca smiled back, tears streaming down her face. The helicopter lifted off into the blue sky, carrying them away from danger and back to home. As they climbed higher, Sarah held the dog tags in her hand one more time. They had been more than just metal and engraving. They had been a beacon, a call for help, a cry of faith that someone would come. And someone had. Sarah looked at Rebecca and squeezed her hand. The mission wasn't just about finding those tags. It was about never giving up on the people you love. It was about loyalty that doesn't break, courage that doesn't fade, and the unbreakable bond between soldiers who stand together.